Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm your driver, Spencer. As always, sitting shotgun is Breck. And this week, we're the podcast asking the important questions like, is Supernatural ripping off Stephen King? Are biker bars for hunters just cooler? And are monsters always the bad guy? This is Be Afraid of the Dark.
A lot of complex questions there, boss.
A lot of complex questions, and we're gonna get into them.
Oh, and we're getting into them.
So this is exciting. This is a good series of episodes.
Yeah, this is a good way to start out the season after the huge loss of John.
Yes, it is. Two good hunts. One of them burned into my brain, but I don't think it held up for me as well as I thought it would.
Agree.
And the other is an episode I remembered the broad strokes of. I remembered the character it introduces, and I remember one scene really specifically. But yeah, so let's jump into it.
Let's jump in.
Starting with season 2, episode 2, Everybody Loves a Clown, written by John Chabon, directed by Philip Sagricia.
Phil Sagricia, who is one of the main producers of the show.
Yes, there you go. He's directed several episodes already.
Yeah.
So as far as opening shots go, this has got to be one of the best in the show.
Oh, yeah.
It is an open, it's like a red filter almost, and you're confused as to what you're looking at, and it's all distorted, and then a red balloon pops, and you're at a carnival.
And I'm like, okay.
It's so
They're
cool.
They're jacking its steez, okay?
Yes, they are.
Red balloons everywhere. I know what I saw.
Yes, that is true. However,
it's great.
It's awesome.
I'm never complaining. When I say that, I'm saying it with love. Because as you can tell from our Pennywises up there, we're Pennywise people.
You can't see the Pennywises, but they are up there.
Well,
You'll have to trust us. So this is a pretty good cold open, an interesting one because there's no on-screen death in it.
Yes, there's no kill in this part.
Anyway, we open, and just to get through the cold open a little quickly, there's a lot of emotional beats to tackle on this episode. The cold open is at a carnival, a family's there, and the father hates clowns and the daughter thinks they're fun.
Yeah.
She sees a sad clown, she waves at him, he waves back, and when the parents look, there's no clown there.
There's no clown.
As they're driving
Spookiest
home.
Clown of all.
Great clown design. That's what I was going to say.
Love his design.
Really good clown design. Then they driving home, and she sees the clown again, it waves at her again. They don't see it.
A very 1990
Yes.
Specifically, there's a shot in that where Tim Curry's waving at, I forget who's driving, but Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown is waving, and it's very clearly to me an homage shot. So
yeah. And also I think it's really scary that the clown is like normal.
Yes.
You know, he's just like a dude in a suit. Like that's kind of what I think. It's scarier to me than like a big crazy like killer clowns from outer space kind of thing. Then we get this really cool shot in a moment I like, which is like the shadow on her ceiling doesn't match the shadow that would be coming from, which is really a creepy thing.
It's so creepy. There's something about this show plays with shadow. I mean, we say it all the time. The lighting on this show is so insanely good. This show knows how to use a shadow like nobody's business.
She goes down and she lets the clown inside, and we cut to the Supernatural title card and back into a funeral pyre, our first hunter's funeral.
Our first hunter's burial, yeah.
Which is, I think, really cool and a very emotional scene. And I think both of them play their respective roles in this scene so well 100%. As they're looking at John's burning pyre. And Sam just asks, did he say anything to you before he died? And Dean lies to him. Dean just goes, he didn't say anything at all. And Dean is broken. Sam's breaking down, but Dean is like not there.
Dean is visibly dead inside.
Yeah.
And Sam is like having a full emotional, like outwardly emotional response. It's great stuff from like the two of them and their roles so far of like Sam is the big feeler, regardless of he's angry or happy or sad. Like he's got all the big emotions, and Dean's kind of like purposely portraying this one thing, and he's like, okay. I cannot stress enough that it was straight up. I was a little like, can we get off his face? It's kind of it's making me very uncomfortable to see how dead inside he is.
I also think Dean is telling himself, because like you and I know what he said, but we won't reveal it for anyone who's watching the show for the first time. I feel like what the information is, Dean is also telling himself. He's like, he didn't say anything, it's nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. I didn't hear anything.
Then we cut to a week later, and the Impala is quite a ways along in being fixed. I mean, he's fully fixed the frame of the car.
It's crazy.
I want to note, I don't think that's possible. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. That doesn't seem possible. That's the magic of Dean Winchester.
Who's to say? If maybe you're just Dean Winchester and you're awake for your 16 hours of your day and you just spend your entire day out beneath the hood, maybe that can happen in a week. But
yeah, possibly.
Who's to say? Mechanics chime in.
Yeah, all the Supernatural mechanic fans chime in. Anyway, so we Sam comes out and they have a bit of a discussion, and Dean is very clearly being avoidant and weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine. Stop asking if I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Stop asking.
Yes. Yeah. And then Sam plays him and that's very classic Dean to avoid his problems and avoid talking about his problems.
What?
Sam plays a voicemail off of one of John's old phones from someone named Ellen, and she's saying, I know, I'm so excited, and she's saying she can help him, doesn't give a lot more information. Yeah. So they track her down.
Yeah.
They go and find Ellen. They borrow one of Bobby's cars.
It is a soccer mom van.
It is a soccer mom van, like wood panel side, piece of crap, barely runs. Hilarious, amazing. I love it.
I feel like a friggin' soccer mom.
It's I feel like a freaking soccer mom's a great line.
It is deeply funny to watch them roll out of that car. It's just like you're like, oh, you guys should not be in this vehicle, at all.
No, they should not. Great, but they go into this thing. This is one of the scenes that has always really stuck out to me. Is they're creeping? They immediately break and enter.
You're like, guys,
knock. They love to break and enter.
So funny. You're like, why would this? Maybe sometimes things are locked for a reason.
Yeah. And they're going in, they're creeping around. Sam goes off into the kitchen of this dive bar that they're now at, that they found. It's like real, like genuinely like the Roadhouse kind of dive bar.
It's the titular Roadhouse from Roadhouse.
Yeah. And they go off, and Dean has the barrel of a rifle poked against his back, and he's like, please God, tell me that's a rifle.
And then Joe goes, no, I'm just real happy to see you.
Yeah, and he turns around, and it's like a young woman, and not who you would expect to be in this place, and kind of off-putting. And Dean essentially, and this has always stuck out to me, is Dean is like, if you're going to sneak up on somebody, you shouldn't put the gun right against him, and he rips it out of her hands and pulls the lever action on it, which, by the way, just releases a bullet and puts another one in. There's no need for him to have done that. I don't know if it's just like him confirming that it's loaded, or something. I don't know. Very silly, but it's always stuck out to me. And he's acting all macho, and then she punches him in the face and takes it back.
Awesome.
Hysterical. I love it. And then he immediately goes, Sam, a little help in here.
And Sam's like, hey.
Yeah,
hi, Dean. I, too, am in a predicament.
And Sam also has a gun to his back as Ellen walks him into the room. And then they kind of let on that they're Sam and Dean. She catches on.
Yes.
She's like, Sam and Dean Winchester. Oh, wow. And then so everything settles down. Everything's calm. Oh, I should also add there's a dude asleep on the bar table.
My king.
On the bar table, the pool table.
My king.
We don't see who he is, and I'm very excited about the actor who plays him. If you're a fan of a certain franchise, we'll talk about it in a minute. Anyway, they start talking about, what could you help our dad with?
Yeah, and Ellen specifically says John was like family once.
Yeah.
Also, which is, so many people call John Winchester family, and then they're all like, what?
Yeah, I mean, Sam has a line about that later where he's like, isn't it funny how dad had a falling out with pretty much everybody?
And you're like,
yeah, it's the kind of man he was.
John Winchester.
Anyway, so that they get to talking here. She's saying she wants to help with this demon. John, being John, wouldn't let her. And then it comes out that John's dead, and she catches on, and they didn't tell her. And I noted here that Gene, I was trying to say Jensen and Dean at the same time. Jensen plays on the edge better than just about anybody.
Oh yeah,
he looks like a dude with his fingernails dug in and trying everything he can to,
100%.
Yeah, and then we get introduced to. Well, they ask, how can you help him? I was like, I can't, but Ash can. I'm like, who's Ash?
She goes, Ash. And he's like...
They wake up guy on the bar table with the sickest mullet ever, and he's Jesse from the Fast and the Furious, the first Fast and Furious movie.
Huge day for Spencer's.
I literally was looking, I was like, no way. Anyway, he also plays the same character, which is just like a genius in a weird situation.
Awesome.
Anyway, he takes their dad's info and says, you can't track a demon. It's impossible to track him this way. And he starts rifling through the papers, which look like nothing but garbage. And he's like, oh, wait, you can't. And so he starts figuring it out. And he goes, give me 51 hours.
And you're like, sure.
They're like, okay. They hang out in the bar. Jensen, Dean, and Joe go off to one end and kind of have a bit of a moment.
A flirtation.
Yeah, where I'll let you kind of describe.
She really hits on him, and he kind of reciprocates and seems like he's gonna, and then just does not have the energy or the willpower to hit on her back.
Oh, that's not at all how I interpret this scene.
No?
No, because she literally calls him out for being, what are you gonna, all these hunters roll in here and assume they can, she's not flirting with him.
I always felt like she was flirting with him.
No, later she's flirting with him.
Later she's flirting with him.
But in this first scene, she's like walks up to him and he says like one half-hearted line.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Oh, what, you think you're going to 6-pack of beer, muscle car, and A side of Led Zeppelin?" And that's exactly what Dean would do. So Dean backs off and she goes, "Not you." And he's like, "No." And that's it. It's very funny.
I always still picture that she's hitting on him in her own way of like.
We're going to watch that scene again. I think you're conflating it with the end. Okay. Listener, tell us, please. Okay. Anyway, then Sam asks what's going on with the radio and the folder. And she says, "Oh, I've been listening and I found this and I was going to give it to somebody." And he takes it and he convinces Dean to go on this hunt.
Yeah.
So they're driving, having the conversations about, why are you so gung-ho to jump on this? He's like, "Why not? We're waiting for this anyway." Gives him something to do.
Yeah.
And they're still driving the shitty van.
And he's like, "It's something like it's what Dad would want us to do," or something. Yeah, which is specifically what Sam says.
And kind of triggers Dean a little bit. And also we get the reveal that Sam is afraid of clowns. Now, they don't do a lot with it this episode. They do a lot with it later.
A lot later. Him and me both, though.
But he's like, "At least I'm not scared of planes." And Dean goes, "Planes crash." And Sam replies, "And apparently clowns kill." Yeah.
It's because it's so funny because Dean's teasing him in the moment that Sam teases him back about being scared of flying. He's like, "Planes crash."
Yeah, he's like,
"Don't let me do it."
Shuts it down. Like, anyway, they keep driving and we cut to the carnival again. And old tech, our first old tech of the season, our first notable. I mean, there was a flip phone earlier, but our first notable old tech was the Nintendo DS. It's the same one. It's the exact same one my older brother had, and I still have mine.
Classic.
The white glossy Nintendo DS, like Slim or whatever it was.
Times.
Anyway. Awesome to see that. The kid is scared of clowns. They're in kind of the funhouse, setting up the funhouse. And he sees the clown and his dad goes, "Oh, clowns are your friend. Don't be afraid." Never tell your kids that.
No.
What are you doing?
No one is ever your friend, okay?
Ever.
Never a clown.
Specifically never a clown. I'm sorry about the clown industry, but I don't think any clowns watch this.
I really respect you guys. I really, really do. I think what you do is so beautiful and important.
Yeah.
However, we've all been traumatized.
Yeah, and then we cut back to the house. We get a similar scene where the kid lets the clown in. He's like, "You want to come play?" Whatever. He comes inside. And then the next morning, he wakes up his dad. And he goes, "You're right. He is my friend." In what is still maybe the scariest moment in the first 2 seasons, maybe outside of Mary's death for me. But it's the kid holding the clown's hand and the dad waking up and seeing him. And then the clown just like.
You're like, "Ow."
And you're like, "Nope, I'm good. I hated that."
You're right. He is my friend. And
yeah.
Like, oh.
Genuinely horrifying.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Then we get there and Sam's at the carnival and he's very apprehensive because there's clown paraphernalia and imagery everywhere.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, Dean comes walking out and they talk. He's like, the cops are there too. He's like, "Oh, 2 parents got ripped apart," and kid said the guy disappeared into thin air, and Sam goes, "Who fingered a clown?" As in like, oh, he pointed the finger at a clown, and Dean literally just looks at him. And is like, those moments when somebody says something and you can't even make a joke because it's so baffling that somebody said it.
Like,
and so Sam's like, "What?" And Dean just moves on, and
like,
it's
whatever.
amazing.
It's so funny. Dean's like, I don't even have time for this joke.
Yeah. So they realize they have to go undercover at the carnival. Mm-hmm. They go try to get jobs. They see a sign that says, "Talk to Mr. Jenkins." Is that his name? Cooper. Mr. Cooper. Right. Thank you. Talk to Mr. Cooper. They go into one of the tents and knives like really accurately hit a board. Dean's like visibly impressed. And he goes, "Hey, have you seen Mr. Cooper?" And a guy turns around in glasses. He's blind. And he just starts fucking laying into him. Dean.
"Oh, have I seen him? You think that's a funny joke? You think that's funny? That's fucking funny to you?"
Yeah. And then it just gets worse and worse. And somebody else walks in and Dean puts his foot in his mouth again.
Yeah.
And it just continues. And Dean literally goes, "Can I get some help here?" He's like, "No, you're on your own." No. And then it cuts to just this shot. It is one of my favorite like reaction shots of Jared where he literally just goes and he's like laughing like a kid.
It's so
who's just seeing something hysterical. It's great. Then we just brisk right along into Mr. Cooper's office where he's like, "You guys ever worked at Carnival?" And they try to lie to him and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And they see a photo of Mr. I keep wanting to call him Jenkins.
He just has Jenkins' face.
But I should add that the old timer of this episode is a blind man who throws knives, and I think that's cool.
It's awesome. It's kick ass.
Anyway, so they talk to Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper talks about how his father ran a freak show, as he calls it, back in the day until it became illegal. And then he looks exactly like Mr. Cooper, which plays into the mystery of this episode. episode a little later.
And he also has kind of an important like emotional moment of the episode when he is like, you guys seem normal. You need to go have normal lives, have normal girls, have normal children.
Yeah.
And Sam is like, and he specifically is like, go back to school. Like, blah, blah, and Sam's like, we don't want normal. And he's clearly like lying, but he's also clearly kind of being truthful about himself.
Yeah, I think he's being very truthful, and Dean picks up on it.
Yeah.
They go outside. They essentially they get a job at the carnival.
Yeah.
And they're kind of.
Who knew it was that difficult?
Yeah, who knew? They're kind of doing some work. There's a conversation somewhere in here about Sam not wanting to go back. That's actually later. Right now they're investigating. Sam's got the EMF reader. Dean's picking up trash. They get a call about the fun house. Mm-hmm. They go check it out. Nothing's there. Oh, there's the great bit where Sam's walking through the fun house and the skeleton drops and scares him, which leads to when he calls Dean, he's like, I was in the fun house. He's like, you see any clowns? He goes, a skeleton, actually. A human skeleton? And he's human remains. He genuinely, for whatever, and I don't know why Sam doesn't correct him, but he just genuinely believes there's a human skeleton in the funhouse.
Funny.
So he starts going over, and then the blind man, the blind knife thrower, comes over and starts talking to him again, and Dean has to lie his way out of it. And he's like, we don't like outsiders. What is this all about? What are you doing here?
Nothing's better than people giving Dean a hard time.
Yeah, this episode is giving Dean a hard time.
It's so funny.
It's great. It's fantastic. And then, okay, so then they clock a kid who sees a clown that the parents can't see.
Yeah, terrible.
Right? Oh, horrifying. Genuinely scary. Away. So then they stalk this kid and follow them home.
They stalk the family home. Normal things you do. It's so funny. How does no one ever seems to clock that the Winchesters are following them ever? This happens next episode too, where you're like, do you guys who's not checking the periphery?
Apparently nobody in the supernatural universe.
Like, for real. That I also really like about this is that, like, even if they could be making like a bunch of cheap shots about like the circus and like carnivals and clowns, and they're not really doing that. They're just like making fun of Sam for being afraid of clowns. Yeah. Like, I don't know what other way to say this, but I'm like, they're being really respectful of carnies.
Yeah, as best they can in their kind of early 2000s type way.
In their early 2000s way. There's plenty of like shady stuff going on.
Anyway, they clock the kid opening the door and letting the clown in. This is where they have the conversation about Sam not wanting to go back to school, and he's like, I don't think I do, and he kind of cites it as, oh, dad wanted me in the life, dad wanted me doing jobs.
Yeah, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
when did that ever stop you, Samuel?
And Dean again clocks it and is kind of frustrated by it. Anyway, they see this, they break into the house, and they're watching, they're hiding, and they grab Sam grabs the little girl away. The clown whips around, is looking around, and Dean pumps it full of 2 shots of rock salt.
Yeah.
And it hits it and doesn't go through, and it knocks him off his feet. They realize, okay, so it's not a spirit.
It's physical.
It's physical. It hits something. He gets right back up. He's out of ammo, so he steps in to fight him, and then the clown turns and like super speeds, like blasts its way out of the window. I think technically he's turning invisible and crashing through the window. I think is what's happening. But
there's something spooky about a window just like breaking, like without anything around it.
So it's funny in a dated kind of way, but it is a cool effect. The parents show up and they book it out of there, and they
have to abandon the car.
They have to abandon the car. They have to change the plates and hide it, and they start walking.
And Jensen bow-legged as hell.
Jensen is bow-legged as hell.
Bow-legged as hell.
Every time you point it out, it makes me laugh.
Because it's true. Sometimes you forget about it because you're not always like watching his legs, but then it'll have a shot where it'll be like, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about how people knew he was cameoing on Walker, Texas Ranger, because they were like, that shadow's bow-legged as hell. I don't know that man anywhere.
That's funny.
It's just funny. I just like it.
A couple things happen in this scene as they're just walking down the road, and Sam kind of asks you, hey, do you think Dad and Ellen ever, had sex?
And you're like,
and
why are you
Sam's
worried about
like,
that?
no. And there's just a genuine belief, at least I headcanon, there's this genuine belief that that Sam or that Dean believes John was never with anyone again, because he has to imagine his parents' love is that pure.
I'm 100%.
And eternal or whatever. And it's a funny thing. It makes me laugh because of course John was with somebody else at some point.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan was not sitting around just celibate for years. Let's be clear on that.
Yeah, and then Dean blows up at Sam because Sam won't drop it.
Yeah.
Right. So he blows up at him and is very like, what is this crap about what Dad would have wanted? You spent your entire life at him. Hell, the last time you spoke to him, you were picking a fight with him.
You're like,
So and he's like, I'm dealing with it. Are you dealing with it, Sam?
You're like, neither.
You're not going back to school, whatever you're. And he hits a nerve because he is vaguely right.
Yeah.
Sam is doing his best to avoid actually having to deal with it.
Yeah.
He's getting emotional, trying to talk about it like it's like everything's normal. And that's not how it works.
No.
And
they're both being avoidant in their own special Winchester brother way of avoiding the grief. And then again, we can kind of finally talk about this line of like, you ever notice that Dad had a falling out with just about everybody? Like, I think they're starting to reconcile with like
Sam specifically, and Dean is being forced to. Like Sam has known this, but Dean, anyway, continue.
Of like that John was not necessarily like a guy that everybody loved. Like he wasn't just kind of like shitty to his kids and then everyone else liked him. John Winchester was just generally a big pill. Like he was just kind of a pain in the ass to deal with for pretty much everybody. He's a
great hunter and just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, which we'll get more into next episode.
Yeah, oh, for sure. They call Ellen. They get some info from her, and I'll kind of let you talk about the creature.
They call it a Rakshasas. A Rakshosas. And they said it's a Hindu creature, and it's kind of like a psychic thing, and it can turn invisible and turn into the things it needs to turn into, but it has to be invited in, kind of like a vampire, and allowed to eat. And it's literally Pennywise because they were like, it feeds every 30 years.
Yes, I was going to say, it's Pennywise. They just couldn't clear having the crossover or whatever.
It's so funny. And the other...
Which is fine, by the way. That's not a complaint. It's totally cool to be inspired by Stephen King. He's Stephen King.
Okay, we're lovers, okay? But no, and I love too that they have the detail of it has to sleep on a bed of dead insects.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck yeah, let's get into this free.
The only way to kill it is with a brass knife.
Which is fun. It's not a material that usually has to get, it's usually silver.
Which is funny to me because then Dean immediately goes, I think I know where to find one. And you're like, of course you do. Of course your dumbass brain is going straight to the blind knife thrower. Blind man. But because it's like this ancient creature, they believe that it is Mr. Cooper.
Because he looks just like his
father. Because he looks just like his father, which is a pretty lazy write-in, but it works. It's serviceable. This episode is not about the hunt. This episode is about them dealing with their issues.
Yes.
Which is pretty much every episode, I guess. But next episode's a lot about the hunt.
Sometimes they're more about the hunt.
Yeah. So they split up. Sam goes to poke around Mr. Cooper's office, and Dean goes to talk to the knife thrower. And he's like, I don't know if I got a brass knife. So they go in. He's digging around in his trunk, and he finds the clown outfit, right? So while that happens, Sam gets a gun pulled on him. It's not Mr. Cooper. He's just a normal guy.
He's just some guy.
And then the blind man takes his glasses off. He's not blind. It was all an act. And he kind of taunts Dean, and then he turns invisible. He starts chucking knives at Dean.
It's awesome.
Dean's like, whoa.
What the hell?
It's really funny. He books it out of there, gets a call from Sam. He goes, it's him. It's this guy. There's no weapon. I don't have the weapon to the one thing we need to kill it.
The one thing.
And Sam goes, I might have an idea for that, which is, by the way, this is the most creative part of this sequence is the idea of where they get the weapon.
Very cool.
He says, meet me at the fun house. They get into the fun house. This creature's invisible. They don't know where it is. And they're inside, and Sam goes to the like organ they have in there, and it's steaming and super hot, and so he like burns his hand trying to pull off one of the brass
pipes.
Thank you. And he rips it off, and then they're looking around, and they kind of get knocked around a little bit. And they turn on the steam a bunch so they can see him move.
It's so fun. I love this sequence.
It's fun. For me, it ended up being a little anticlimactic because then it literally just, he turns around and stabs him, and then he like dies and falls over, which like it's a cool effect for an early 2000s television show.
I love the concept of like being able to find something hidden through like, oh, this is where it's been. Like we just watched The Invisible Man from 1933, and they're like, oh, we can tell where he is, and he's like, I have to avoid the snow because it can land on me, and you're like, oh, that's just a very cool, fun, underutilized thing in horror, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's the Invisible Man remake also makes good use of that very with cool. the rain and with the paint,
the paint scare.
It's a good time. They've beat it. They're on their way. They're back at the bar, and Ash shows up with the jankiest piece of technology I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite things in Supernatural. It's a laptop with all the casings done and wires going everywhere.
Incredible.
And he has this like reader essentially searching the planet, every database for weather patterns and specifically he points out certain sigils that are like summoning sigils essentially, that they're trying to figure out what's going on and the demon has been using. So he's like, there's none right now. But if there are any on the planet, this will find it. It's just going to take time. It says,
I will be on them, quote, like Divine on Dog Dookie. Ash, a confirmed John Waters fan.
Which is...
see female trouble.
Yeah, crazy. Anyway, so that happens. They kind of get this moment, but somewhere in there, Sam and Dean and Joe are standing there, and Joe clearly wants Sam to leave. So Sam goes, okay.
I have the exact quote. Do you want it?
Yeah, please give the exact quote.
I gotta go over there right now.
Yeah, and he like shuffles away, and Dean kind of just has this really honest moment with her. He's like, hey, normally I would have hit on you so fast your head would be spinning, but I just don't want to right now.
Yeah.
Like, I just, and she's very empathetic and talks about how she lost her dad.
Yeah.
It's a really touching moment, which I believe we learn what happened to her dad later.
Yes.
You and I were talking about
we were talking about it, but we won't spoil it.
Yeah. So we find out some more about that. That's a setup for later in the season. They have the conversation with Ash. That happens.
And Ash was pulled out of MIT for fighting.
Yeah. Which is, by the way, in the Fast and the Furious, he couldn't get into colleges because of his like severe ADHD.
Damn.
I got to show you the Fast and Furious.
Typecast as a genius as a troubled genius.
We just finished the John Wick series, so now you got to watch the Fast and Furious series.
I honestly can't wait.
Anyway, so then we get back to the
to
Bobby's junkyard.
Yeah.
And Dean is working on the car. It's come along. He's got a lot of it put in place. And Sam comes out and just kind of, they have a brief conversation, and it ends with Sam being like, you were right. Or Sam telling Dean, is like, you were right. I wasn't dealing with it, but neither are you. You know, and he just, you can stand out here and try to fix this car. And Dean's also right. It's the one thing he can do now is fix the car. But Sam just kind of has like a really honest moment. He's like, you're holding it all in. You can't do it. And Sam leaves and Dean watches him go. Then he picks up a crowbar. And this is one of my favorite things in all of Supernatural. He picks up a crowbar and he smashes a window, and he just starts destroying the trunk of the Impala. Mm-hmm. Like everything and he just drops it, and he's standing there, and episode ends. I have that as a GIF on my phone I send whenever I'm upset.
Yeah.
As I just send smashing of the Impala.
Guy who wishes he could have punched his dad because he's so mad he died. Like, it's just...
It's this episode is really... It's got a lot of emotional stuff. I don't really care about the hunt anymore like I used to be. It's got the one really good scare, but anyway, this is a good one. It did not hold up as well as I remembered for how like much it's burned into my brain. But anyway, is there anything we missed? We kind of brushed through a lot of this one.
Our old timer this episode was also our villain, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the first time the old timer's been the villain.
Sad.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out.
Sad, because we kind of had that in Scarecrow with one of the old timers was like also in on the town plot.
That's true. Oh, actually, you're right. This is the second time.
But like that was a little less. This is overt. This is like the old timer is killing people.
Sorry, I totally forgot to say Sam gets the kill.
Yes,
so Sam pulls ahead.
Kill.
It is currently Sam 1, Dean 0. I should have said that earlier, but yes, that is the current season standings. That's very exciting. We're happy about that.
And hopefully he gets a better season this season, because he had the first kill last season, but he fell behind.
He fell behind hard. He lost by like double or something. It was crazy.
It was pretty sad.
Anyway, that's really good. Anything else? Any other thoughts on this one?
No.
Okay, then we'll jump straight into our best line.
Okay.
What is yours?
Planes crash, and apparently clowns kill.
That's really funny. That's a great one too.
Are we allowed? Did we ever discuss that we could have two the adjoining lines together as best line together?
Yeah, I mean this is we're just saying the line we like the most. I think it's fine.
I love having a Can I have a dialogue with you?
Oh my! We just saw Begonia. Anyway,
what's your best line?
My best line is "I'm on it" like Divine on Dog Dookie, and you're like, "What did you just say?"
You're like, "So what's your favorite John Waters movie? Does he like Serial Moms?"
Sometimes you just hear something so insane, and you're like, all right, sure. Best kill. What are we doing?
I mean, it's got to be the only one we see.
It's the only on-screen kill.
It's the only on-screen kill.
Sam kills the invisible clown.
The Rakshasas.
Yeah, with a brass pipe. Very good kill.
Very cool.
I like it.
It's very cool.
All right, should we just go ahead and move on?
Let's move on to the better episode of these
two. In my opinion, this is just a great episode.
Oh yeah.
Season 2, episode 3, Bloodlust, written by Sarah Gamble, directed by Robert Singer.
That's a 1-2 punch.
That is a 1-2 punch for Supernatural.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This episode is awesome. We get introduced to a character we both have much fondness for. An actor specifically we have much fondness for. The character's kind of a bastard.
Yeah, the character's kind of a dick.
Anyway, this episode has a really, really great cold open. It's super classic. We're dropped into like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of like woman running through the woods, and
She's in white, and it's like flowing.
Yeah, and it's very misty, pale blue light from the moon, and it's great. and then a trench-coated villain chasing her. And we don't really know what's going on, and we're just thrown into it. And then she's hiding behind a tree, and she turns, and a sickle turns and hacks her head off. Blood splatter tree, and we cut to a wide of her head literally rolling off and blood spurting up.
And I think I went, are they allowed to show us this?
It's not even the most violent thing in this season.
No, but it's still like, I'm like, this was like...
I know.
This is the WB. You're allowed to show this to me?
They show it in a wide, and they don't show the actual head getting cut off. They for sure show the heads getting cut off later.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was sick. I really like that cold open.
It was a great cold open.
With a great kill.
Yeah.
Good mystery. And as the episode goes on, really good reveals because of that.
Yes.
Okay, so then we cut to Back in Black as the Impala is basically the Impala theme.
Oh, yeah. This is the second time, if you're counting, that this song has been used. And I just love that it becomes officially Baby's like theme song.
And it's like diegetic too,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like the Impala's back in action. They're roaring down the road.
It's basically a fan edit of the Impala for about 30 seconds there.
Yes, it is. And as it should be.
And as it should be. She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous. I love that. I want to drive one of those so bad.
I know. We'll get there.
We'll do it at some point. We'll find a way.
We'll figure out how to rent that as our getaway car for our wedding.
I kid you not. We need to put that. I'm so serious about that.
If that happens, guys, we'll post it.
That would be the sickest thing ever. Anyway, Dean is in a great mood, and Sam points this out. He's like, "Why shouldn't I be in a great mood? I got a case. We're back in the
car. Everything's good."
And Sam's like, "If you do need a room, I can give you some time."
Funny.
And he's like, he just doesn't understand you, baby. I think it's the first time he calls it baby.
I think so.
Calls her baby. I'm so sorry. Dean's one true love. Anyway, and then Sam has a funny line where he goes, "Give you a couple of severed heads and a pile of dead cows, and you're Mr. Sunshine."
That's how I feel.
Which is great. And then we cut to, and there's something really funny here. They cut to, they're pretending to be journalists, talking to the sheriff in disguise. They have journalist badges. Sam has his fancy hair, which he has for the episode, which by the way, makes him look 5 years older.
It's really bizarre. When he gets to have his bangs, free my boy's bangs. He looks about 5 years younger, and then you're right, it does.
Yeah, it's
I was like, why is it so different looking when his hair's pushed back? It just makes him look older.
It also
because it looks like his later hairstyles from when he's actually older.
And it doesn't help that he beefed up this season. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little later when he like takes his jacket off and you're looking at him, you're like a box. Like it's crazy.
Did we figure out why that happened?
No, I just think he beefed up.
He just got older. I guess.
I was like, he's probably at this point 24, 25 and working out all the time and whatever. Anyway, that doesn't matter. He has this fancy hair. The sheriff is not really into him. They kind of flub the disguise. Like they're world news world. I'm new. It's so good. Dean not knowing the research for his own.
So funny. Which I think World Weekly News is also like one of those, I want to say later, one of those like, it's like a tabloid magazine, but for like weird like shit. Like I think later, a character that we'll talk about later has like that newspaper and is like, here's where I get all my news, and it's about like UFO abductions and everything. So they're not even pretending to be from like the town paper.
Yeah. Anyway, they do that, and then the sheriff laughs them off when they ask if it's any demonic related incidents or anything.
Yeah.
Hard cut to the morgue where they're in a different disguise. They walk in wearing the lab coats.
Two disguises and as many scenes.
Literally made me laugh so hard that we did disguise after disguise. It was awesome. I loved it. They trick the guy into running off so that they can get in and open the case. And they open a bucket. It's literally a bucket with a head in it, which by the way is crazy. And they're kind of like, all right, you open it.
No, I think you should.
He's like,
I think you should.
Baby. And so he opens up the bucket, and there's the woman's severed head in there. And Sam's like, get me a bucket. And he's like, why? He's like, I think I'm going to throw up. We should also add that there's a very funny bit in here where they're talking about, didn't they, the severed heads, they marked the upside down pentagram. They marked the foreheads with upside down pentagrams for a cult that was going on and killing people. And Dean goes, where'd that happen? He's like, Florida. And he goes, so much effed up crap happens in Florida. So funny.
It's so funny. Which, as we all, well, I don't know if as we all know, but that's actually because Florida has specific, it's called like the Sunshine State laws or something. So they have way more ability to report on things. So that's why everything we hear about is Florida man, because they're actually allowed to report on every crazy motherfucker that rolls up there.
Well, there we go. Now we know. Then Dean does a Silence of the Lambs bit, multiple Silence of the Lambs bits.
Yeah, and he's like, you got to check your tongue like in Silence of the Lambs. And then later goes, put the lotion in the basket. And like a very poor impression. Yeah. It's so funny.
Very funny. They open the mouth and they poke the teeth, the gums and fangs, vampire fangs eject. And so this is what I like about this cold open so much is it's a reversal. the monster is being hunted by a hunter.
Very cool.
Now, they reverse that again on you later, but in a cool way.
Yeah.
But I think that's really interesting where they're like, okay, this is the thing. So they go to a bar. The bartender's a that guy. He's like, he's the dude in X2 that Magneto uses to break out of prison, for anyone who gives a crap.
And I believe he's also a recurring fave character on Shameless. I never watched it. I end up on those clips of Shameless a lot when I'm on YouTube Shorts at night.
Yeah. So then they're talking about this and the case, and Sterling K. Brown from across the bar listens in, and he's sitting there with a cigarette in his hand, and it's so, you pointed this out, you're like, it's so Aragorn.
He's literally like Aragorn in the back, like
smoking a cigarette, and then they get up to leave, and as they pass, the cigarette's still on the table, he's gone.
So cool.
Really good. And they walk outside, they walk around a corner, and he's following them. Mm-hmm. And this is before Sterling K. Brown's like a big star like he is now.
He's not an Emmy nominee at this point.
Yeah, like
has he won? I don't know.
I'm sure he won at some point.
I'm sure he's won.
But he has blown up now, but at the time he's just like a day actor, I'm guessing, or close to it. So anyway, they there's this little cat and mouse thing where they walk around a corner and he stops and he's like, oh no, and they jump out and grab him, hold a knife to his neck. They think he's a vampire.
Yeah, I love when they work in unison like this. I have that as a note is Sam and Dean in unison grab. Like there's something, again, we love when they talk in unison. It's even better when they move in like complete unison.
Very true. So that is an awesome thing. They kind of tell him, show us your pearly whites. And he's like, and they figure it out. He's not a vampire. He's been hunting this thing.
Yeah, the nest.
For a year. They kind of discuss that later. And then he figures out that they're Sam and Dean Winchester. And then we cut and he's like, Sam and Dean Winchester. You know, your father's a legend, right? He starts talking about their dad. He's like, I'm sorry to hear about his past.
And they're like,
how do you know about that? He's like, word travels fast. Don't you guys, you know how it is in the hunter world? And they're like, no, we don't. And he has this really good line. He's like, I guess there's a lot your dad never told you, huh?
And you're like,
and I think that's a great way to bring in the bigger world, right? This hunter bar, good addition to the larger lore of this world. Word travels fast. John was very well known, but they don't really know that many hunters. They only know their close group of friends, and they kind of think there's other people out there, but they don't know about it. I should say Sterling K. Brown's toolkit here is awesome. He opens it up out of like a case and the thing and all his knives and swords and stuff. It's awesome. He puts it away. They're like, all right, well, let's work this thing together. And he's like, no, I'm good. He's like, I've been working this for a year. I got it. Don't worry.
Leave me alone.
He's a specialist in vampire hunting.
Yeah.
They've already thrown out the vampires are rare thing. And they still are. They're like, our species is almost extinct. They say later.
They make it clear that like they almost have like the hunters that specialize in vampires almost have like a weird symbiotic relationship with them.
Yeah.
Because the guy who from last season who we got introduced to vampires with was like, they knew him by name. Like they knew that guy. Like, and they were like, don't fuck with that guy. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's very interesting. It's like this weird niche world within hunting that we don't.
Yeah.
And he also gets off this line to them that's really funny. I hear there's a chupacabra Tuesday. It's over.
You have fun with that. Yeah.
Like,
he drives off. They're standing there, and then we cut to the docks, which is so Twilight.
God, I love Twilight is my exact note.
Mine is gotta love Twilight.
Yeah.
He is down on the docks, and there's a vampire, and Sterling K. Brown's Gordon is the character's name, gets in a fight with his vampire, and he is losing. And then Sam and Dean to the rescue. They show up. Dean kicks this thing's ass, uses like a pipe or like a piece of rebar or something, and
you know how docks are.
Yeah, and pins it again, like stabs it through its chest and pins it down, and then grabs like a big log saw and hacks its head off, and blood just splatters on his face. And there's this great shot where Gordon and Sam are standing off the side, and Gordon's like impressed, and Sam's a little horrified, and Dean's just apathetically looking at them covered in blood.
It's awesome.
It's a great little
man is never sexier than covered in blood.
Yeah, it's a good little action scene. They cut to the bar, and Sam is very clearly Gordon and Dean are laughing, and Sam is like leaned back, and they're doing shots, and Sam hasn't even touched his beer.
Yeah, Sam's like
not
can't
okay
say
with
I
this.
feel super celebratory.
Yeah, and then Dean's like, you gotta excuse my brother. He's not as he doesn't like this life as much as and whatever. He's like, yeah, Sam, you got to take some joy in the work.
And Sam goes, he's the only one allowed to call me that.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm gonna go, and he gets up, and Gordon's like, did I say something? He's like, no, that's just how he is. Then Gordon and Dean kind of have a heart-to-heart about the black and white nature of this world. Gordon's sister was, at this point, we realize, was killed by a vampire. He hunted it down and killed that vampire, became a hunter. And Dean kind of tells you, like, I was a kid and I shot this werewolf and, you know, I whatever. He's like, I realized all these other kids worried about this stuff and I'm here.
Yeah, he was like, other kids my age were worried about pimples and prom dates, and here I was seeing things that they could never even imagine.
Then they never knew were real. They would never know were real. And he kind of opens up about he's not handling his dad's death well. Yeah. Gordon, they have a really good heart-to-heart here. And again, all around this idea that their lives are black and white. You kill the monster and that's it.
Yeah.
Sam gets back to the hotel and calls Ellen. And he's like, hey, do you know what? I can't remember the last name. Do you know Gordon? She's like, oh, yeah, Gordon.
She's so sweet to him. She's like, sure, sweetie.
Yeah,
like,
he's a good hunter. And she's like, oh. She's like, why do you ask? Like, oh, we're actually working with him. And she immediately changes from that. She's like, no, don't do that. He's trouble for everyone he works with.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
He's a good hunter, but he's a good solo hunter.
Yeah, and Sam has hung the keys on a thing that's important for later. They go out, or he goes out for whatever to get a soda or something.
At like the world's weirdest vending machine that I was staring at. I was like, is this a vending machine?
Yeah. But he takes his jacket off in this scene, and dude, he's like a giant.
Yeah, like yoked.
It's crazy. I don't understand it.
I don't know,
because he didn't feel like that in the last 2 episodes, and I don't know why I didn't clock it until now. But in this one, I was like, dude.
I mean, maybe they must have filmed those first 2 at a specific time, and then came back for this one.
Yeah, maybe this episode filmed like 6 months later or something.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh,
and they just aired it here.
Yeah, who's to say?
Anyway, he's giant. Sam's buying a soda. Oh, good.
We forgot the best line about Ellen telling him that is Sam goes, I thought you said he's a good hunter. And Ellen goes, yeah, and Hannibal Lecter's a good psychiatrist.
Yes, thank you. Very good.
We get our 3rd Hannibal Lecter reference of the episode.
Yeah.
Someone had just watched Silence of the Lambs and was just on the brain, I guess.
Yeah. We find out that the bartender is a vampire.
Yeah.
That's revealed. And Sam is kidnapped.
Yes.
Sam he puts up a pretty good little fight, and then he gets hit over the head with a phone and gets knocked out.
Ouchie.
They put him in a chair. They rip the bag off, and they explain to him that they survive off animals.
Yeah, they're the Cullens.
They're the Cullens.
Stephanie Meyer wishes she came up with this.
And then they use this line that I really like is, you know, they're like, we have a right to live.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that idea of the monster that has a right to live. You know, it's so Frankenstein. It's
very.
In introducing this at this point in this season, we won't spoil where it's going.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense.
100%.
To introduce the idea of the sympathetic monster and the idea that not all monsters are necessarily bad. And I think that's really great.
Especially because we've had a lot of we've had kind of simpler creatures that are just where they're not necessarily like
they are monsters as you think of a monster, like animals.
They're creatures. Yeah. Like they're not, and then you have these vampires who were humans once. Like it's not like ghosts who are stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
Or like creatures or anything like the freaking chupacabra that they just mentioned. They're people, and they're like we're people and we're still people.
It's really good stuff here. They tell him they're going to let him go, and they're trying to get out of town. But he's like, "You need to distract this hunter, and let us get away."
Yeah.
And one of them's already like, "I want blood. We have to stay and fight." And she's like, "Well, look, they're gone. They were my family too, but they're gone."
She says, "Our kind is practically extinct," which is another I just love this conversation. I like that we don't often. Like, how often are we in Supernatural so far getting conversations where 2 of the monsters that they're hunting are having a conversation with each other?
Yeah, it's like a really privileged scene to just drop into. Anyway, we Gordon and Dean are back at the motel working out the case, talking about where it probably is.
Yeah, and they're like, where's
the nest
Sam?
Is. Yeah, Dean's worried about Sam. Gordon's like, he's on a walk. Sam walks in, and he's like, can I talk to you in private? They go out, leaving Gordon alone in the room with the keys to the Impala. Having a full vampire discussion at full volume. Yeah, I took note of that. I was like, a lot of full volume public discussions in this episode. Full volume vamp discussion in this motel parking lot. Yeah. And then Sam really throws. He's like, "You're replacing Dad with Gordon. That's what you don't want to deal with it, but you can't just make anyone him." He's spitting true facts, and Dean punches him in the face. Yeah, and you're like, ah. Yeah. Don't punch your brother. I'm going to smack you. Yeah. Well, it's so funny, that payoff to this, but he punches him in the face, and Sam's like, okay, that doesn't make that any less true. Yeah. So. And I love that Sam doesn't return it with anger. Yeah. He's like, it's still true what I said. He's kind of revealed. He's like, where's the, they've discussed this. Where's the nest? I don't know. They drove over a bridge. Gordon figures it out. Yeah. Gordon takes the keys and leaves. They go back in the motel. They're like, we got to catch up to him.
And Dean's pissed he is to Hotwire Baby.
Well, Dean's pissed he is to Hotwire Baby, but the thing I like about this, they have this discussion and Sam's like, we need to let them go. And Dean's like, no, I can't forget this one. If it's supernatural, we kill it. End of story. That's our job.
Yeah.
He spits that out. Like, again, the black and white thing. And Sam's like, it's not that simple. This time we need to let them go. And I really like this like dichotomy here. It's really well handled this episode.
It's beautiful. And the other line I like from this exact same conversation is Dean goes, our job is hunting evil. And if Sam says, our job is hunting evil. And if those things aren't killing people, they're not evil.
Yeah. And I like that too.
It's this beautiful, like and it's a lot of like, who spent more time with John.
Yeah.
And it's, like Sam has had time to leave and come back and he hasn't been entrenched in it as long as Dean. So Dean is a lot more like, I'm clocking in, I'm clocking out.
Yeah.
And Sam is having these like, and we'll figure out kind of why later and where this is leading, but like Sam is having a lot of these like genuine moral quandaries about this. And again, and then also his line specifically when Dean hits him is, you can hit me all you want, it won't change anything.
Yeah. Great. And then we find out that Sam, he's like, I had a hood over my head. He's like, we were 4 minutes from the bridge.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, how do you know that? He's like, I counted. And you're like, this is so Liam Neeson. That's so Taken. And anyway.
So great.
We cut to Gordon as they've kind of figured out where they need to go. And Gordon kills one of them, right? Does he? Does he on screen?
I think he kills one of them.
He kills the bartender one and grabs the woman.
Yes. Who, just before that, too, it has kind of this heartbreaking line of, if we can change, they can change.
Yeah.
You're like, ew.
And it's like, nah, I don't know.
Some of them can, girl, but not the one that's after your ass.
Not most of them. And then he stabs her with a bloody knife and he goes, dead man's blood, bitch.
And you're like, whoa.
And you're like, dude, okay.
Whoa. And they also, when he pops up behind her, use the goofiest sound effect. Dun,
dun. Yeah.
It's so funny. I had forgotten that they would use those sometimes. And I was like, oh, it's like watching a TikTok. It's hilarious.
Truly. And then so she's tied up and he's stabbing her with more dead man's blood.
But you're like,
and
oh my God,
there's this great shot
freak.
as he cuts her where we see it literally like tendril out into her body.
It's very cool.
Really cool. But he's
like dipping it in.
Yeah, and she's like clearly like tied up and her eyes are rolling back and she's
unwell.
It's dark and Sam and Dean get there and at this point Dean's like, oh, whoa, no, this is not, we can't be doing this.
Yeah. And it's the way he like greets them too, where he's like, "Oh, hey guys,"
and she's like, "We all need to calm." And he's like, "I'm totally calm," and he is. He's like, "There's not a."
I'm completely chill, freak.
Yeah, and he is. Gordon is a little bit of a freak.
And I love a freak, but he, oh my God, yeah. And it's just, there's something really ultra sinister about him in this scene. Like, sinister is the word I'm looking for. Of again, just like the complete passiveness of like, oh yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just tortured a vampire, you know how it is.
He has and this is the thing from this episode that's burned into my brain is he's like, he pulls up this, he's like, you're right, there's no point in this. So he pulls the knife. He doesn't kill that one because that other vampire loads up the truck and goes to get stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. I remembered. But he pulls out this knife. He's like, I just sharpened it. It'll be it'll be completely painless, totally humane.
And you're like,
and Sam steps forward and he pulls a knife on him. And I was like, that's where you made a mistake.
I have the exact note. Gordon signs his own death warrant holding a knife to Sam. I was like, do you want to piss off Dean Winchester? Because we can do it, but it's not going to be fun for you.
Yeah. And so Dean pulls a gun and I'm in love with the supernatural pistol, the Colt 45 with all the etching. I think with the pearl handle, one of the coolest guns ever, coolest guns in all of fiction. Anyway, we also find out that Gordon killed his sister because she was turned into a vampire.
And you're like, whoa,
super dark.
You're a freak.
They end up.
He's like, it wasn't her anymore. It wasn't even human. It's the it.
Yeah.
Not even like, she. It's just
in a way that like Sterling K. Brown can deliver with like his voice is so iconic and his cadence is so cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Sterling.
Love Sterling K. Brown. He's one of our great actors. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, they get away, or Sam and the vampire get away, and Gordon stabs the knife down. He's like, if you're going to want to get that, he's like, I'm having a hard, Dean says, I'm having a hard time believing it too, but these ones aren't evil.
Yeah, he tries to he tries to drip Sam's blood into the lady vampire's mouth.
And she freaks out for a second.
She fangs out and then calms down and like closes her mouth and turns away. Like she doesn't want to do that. Like she's trying to prove like, no, I can coexist.
Yeah.
And Dean's like,
okay, maybe. Yeah. So really a good sequence. They get away. Gordon stabs the knife into the table. Dean pulls the magazine, sits the gun down, puts the magazine in his pocket, and they start fighting. And
Gordon grabs the knife.
And Gordon immediately grabs the knife, trying to cheat. And to Dean's credit, Dean kicks the shit out of him.
Oh, quite hard.
Dean wins this fight handily.
Yeah. period, and also bangs his head into the wall. Right
yeah. So when he eventually wins, he's like has him in a headlock, and he walks over and he just bangs his head into the wall and's like sorry, and walks off. And
that's why you don't hold a knife on Sam.
And that is why you don't hold a knife on Sam. So then Gordon's tied up. It's the next morning. Sam rolls back up. You can hear the Impala coming.
I literally said, love knowing it's the Impala outside from the sound effects of the door just opening and the growl of the engine.
Very iconic engine sound effects they use. Sam comes in, and then they kind of have this little conversation. They're essentially like, we'll call somebody in 2 or 3 days.
Come get you.
Come let you out. And he's like, oh, but there's one more thing I got to tell you. And then he just punches the shit.
Clocks him.
Flies back in the chair, knocked out cold. They go outside, and Dean's like, okay.
Clock me one.
Clock me one. Clock me one is how he words it, which is super funny. He's like, clock me one. And Sam's like, what? No, he's like, no, I won't even hit you back. You get a free one. Sam's like, I don't want to do that. You look like you just got in a 12 rounds with a brick wall.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll take a rain check on it. And he kind of walks off. And Dean gets there, and they're standing at the car, and he kind of has this moment. I love this realization. He's like, if this was, think about all the years we did this, we've probably killed things that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And Sam just kind of tells me, he's like, but you didn't kill them.
Yeah.
And to me, Dean having this realization, I have always thought Dean is so kind-hearted.
Yes.
Like at his core, the saving people is the most important part. All the bravado,
100%.
all the hunting things he puts on, but saving people is the thing he cares the most about.
And it's this line specifically, which I'll bring up again in a second, but I wish we never took this job. It jacked everything up.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Yeah, he just wished he could live in that kind of like ignorant bliss, and it's super sad. It's a really good...
Another bummer of a Supernatural episode ending.
They get in a car, they drive away, end of episode. It's amazing, that end moment, and just the arc of like Dean trying to give into his worst impulses to deal with his crap, coming up against a monster that's not evil, that has the right to live.
Yes.
And him and Sam being at odds, and it really getting heated to the point where Dean throws a punch.
Yeah.
Then, Dean making this realization. Right? Yeah, it's a great arc for an episode.
It's the one thing I hadn't brought up yet is how clear it is that Dean could be Gordon with just one little push.
Oh yeah, Dean is
one little push.
Dean is Gordon after 1 or 2 more bad things in his life happen. Yeah. Without Sam, Dean would be Gordon.
100%.
And I think that's really great. This is a great episode. Anything we missed? Any specific moments? Kind of brushed through and went back and forth and talked about this one very in general.
Yes.
But it's a great episode, and you should absolutely go watch it.
Rewatch it. Gordon is, and not to spoil it too much, but it's not the last we'll see of Gordon.
No, we'll see Gordon again.
Yeah, I think Sterling K. Brown is one of our...
I love Sterling
One of
K.
our
Brown
great
so
TV
much.
actors, my king.
Yeah, and I also love that
super great in American Fiction too.
They don't kill him, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they
that's
could
part
very
of what I
easily
like.
kill him, but they're like, we only kill people who kidnap Sam.
Yeah.
And
I didn't do it again. Dean gets the kill. Let's note that I need to start doing that when they get the kill. Dean gets the kill, so it is 1-1.
Yes.
Dean's kill here is really good. I really like it.
There are other deaths in this, but that's the main. That's
the big charactery one.
Yes.
Anyway, best line.
I wish we never took this job. It's jacked everything up.
I love that line so much, and I should have put that. My favorite line is so much effed up crap happens in Florida. Again, sometimes you hear something that makes you chuckle.
That was a runner-up. The pile of heads and dead cows and your Mr. Sunshine. That's
also,
a runner-up.
if it's supernatural, we kill it. End of story. That's our job.
That's the name of the show. That's the name of the television series. Of the television program.
Really good. Anyway, best kill.
We both know what it is.
What is it?
Chainsaw.
Look, the other one's more violent. You see more, but the hacksaw coming down.
It's like the pure. Sometimes and then watching it splatter. I heard him out loud go, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, sometimes the implied violence is just as good as the on-screen
100%.
violence. So yeah, that's that. That's that episode. 2 really good episodes of Supernatural.
Yes. Here. One that hasn't held up as much, and then one that's held up quite a bit. And also, this is just, I love how this episode's lit. This episode has a lot more shadow than usual, because when they're fighting vampires, they're fighting them at night.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great shadow, a lot of great shots in this one. Just
truly
great episode.
A lot of really, this is an episode it feels like an all-timer episode. It is not the high 9 IMDb, so take this with a grain of salt. The opening this season is a 9.2. This is an 8.2. Feels about right for that. Makes sense to me. Anyway, so you have 1 week from today,
a single week,
to watch the next 2 episodes of Supernatural, which are episodes 4 and 5. Episode 4 is Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
That's a movie, by the way, by Bob Clark.
And then the next one is Simon Said. And I don't remember either of these episodes.
I know. I'm like, the names are vivid, but I don't remember. Wait. Maybe I remember Simon Says.
Oh, well, we'll get there. We'll
get there. That's part of the joy. We'll probably watch them tonight.
Probably. Between now and then, you know what you got to do? You got to get your journal. You got to watch some TV. You got to hit the road. But remember, you know what's out there. Be afraid of the dark.